Gargoyles. Gargoyles. Alright. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for another round of comic chat. So, we're going to get right into it with this. This is the nicest way I can say it, because this, I don't know what this book is trying to do. I really don't. Are we exploring Maleficent? Are we doing fun things with Maleficent? Are we showing what Maleficent was doing between A and B? I don't know. Because this story here is about Diablo. And not even about Diablo. It's just Diablo does a thing. Alright? So, So, we're at two Disney villain stories. Alright, here we have Maleficent and we have Scar's. Scar, which I thought would have been the downer here. I thought Scar would have been the story. This one here is just putting me to sleep. Alright? Because nothing's happening. So let's just go into this. Alright, so Maleficent here is talking to Diablo about, exactly what's happened here. The prince was foolish in his little endeavor, but, it's fine. It's fine. Why don't you go take a look outside, Diablo? So, Diablo's like, car? Goes out there, and he sees a cat. Is this the dude from the first book? The prince's brother? Maybe. Possibly. Who knows? Like I said, this will all work out if it turns out this is King Stephen's family. Alright? But anyway, the cat, possible other guy, sees the cat, sees Diablo, and maybe thinks it's Diablo, maybe thinks just a bird. Either way, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this bird, eat Diablo, kill Diablo, one of these two. Either way, goes through, chase ensues, nothing of any real importance happens here, alright? There's no internal dialogue, just Diablo being the Crow of Judgment meme. Which, it's alright, I love that meme. But there's nothing else happening here. Goes through, goes down a cliff, cat falls into a patch of thorns, actually falls off the cliff, a la Wile E. Coyote style, and it's kind of it. He shows up, Maleficent kisses him on the head, or just like pets him, and then the crow is like, yeah, Diablo's happy, and that's how this ends. Why? Why do we tell this story? We're just showing what Diablo does. Diablo flies, almost like he's a bird of some kind. Why? Why would I paid for this? This is the worst part. I paid for this. We didn't see anything. Like if Diablo had gone in, like I remember the teaser for this implied that Diablo was going to spy on the castle, the prince's castle. I'm like, okay, that's cool. See what he's planning. Maleficent being, strategic. What they call a psychological advantage. I don't know. I watched Rocky 2 last week. It looks good. But I don't see the point of drawing this out. Now, if you want a better story, shut up. We go to Disney villain Scar. Now, if you recall, Scar is being taken to the Bone Eaters, aka the hyenas, to recruit them for help in his plans to sort of usurp Mufasa. All right, and I think this works out pretty well. So the Bone Eaters are the hyenas, and they have a queen, which makes sense. So hyenas are pretty sort of a matriarchal society in themselves. Like the mating is all decided, initiated by the women. If for no other reason, then most female hyenas will not survive the birth. So yeah. Anyway. So what they're choosing now is, because food is so scarce, they're choosing which hyena they get to eat tonight. I'm thinking, all right. So the queen, goes into the bones, stirs the soup, looks into the soup. Not even soup. If it was soup, we'd be set here. Like, and the person who's been chosen is Shenzi, and she's like, what? Well, me. And so the hyenas go in, ready to eat Shenzi, and Shenzi points out, like, this is the law, and the law is my will as queen. And Shenzi points out, yeah, your will. And she knows exactly what you're doing here. What you're doing is, you're finding all those that can be a threat to you, and you eat them. I'm like, oh, okay. Messed up. Not wrong. Smart. I just don't get that Shenzi now has a problem with this, because they've been doing it for a while. So now that Shenzi's sort of like, hold on, I am morally opposed to eating our fellow hyenas. Alright, no. So, doesn't go through. Scar comes in like, okay, alright. So it turns out Shenzi's the one I need to talk to. And, yeah. Yeah, and the vulture's like, so we should probably just go. It's like, no, I couldn't outrun this if I want. Besides, affluence favors the bold. I'm like, you know what? I like this. I like this guy. Like, hold up. Watch me styling these guys. Watch me. Watch me, alright? You gotta act like you own the place, alright? Never let them see you afraid. I'm not afraid of them, I'm afraid of Mufasa. But anyway, so they go through, and after Scar says, look, fine, you can go. Keeper and Crass decide to fly off, and she's like, that's classic them. Classic them. And remember, this is all Keeper and Crass's idea. So, yeah. So anyway. So Scar, presents himself like, Queen, is it? I would choose now. Queen Zamor is like, you know what? You're saying I've lost the throne? The throne's not lost. It's being held for me. And everyone's like, yeah, sure, no one believes that. But he makes a deal. What if you join with me, and I can make sure you get everything you need? I make sure you're all fed. You don't have to eat each other like a bunch of savages. And I'll take this young hyena off your hands, too, to train her up, let her know exactly what she needs to do, and we're good. In exchange, you help me. And Queen Zamor is like, maybe, possibly. But I'll tell you what, in exchange for this help, well, just to make sure you deliver, she's going to send 2 other hyenas to watch, a.k.a. Ed and Bonsai. I'm like, alright, the trio's here. The 3 chuckleheads are here. Alright. I love it. Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marin, and Jim Cummings out here serving Jeremy Irons. Alright, I'm here for it. So, anyway, the question now is, what are they going to do? And I like how Scar plays them up like, my fellow outcasts, it's time we stand up against Mufasa's tyranny. For too long they viewed us as inconveniences, to be, brushed aside. But we know our own strength, and it's time to prove it to them. I'm like, okay, alright, together. I'm like, okay, alright, Scar's playing up the crowd. And the question is, what are they going to get? Elk, zebra, wildebeest, and Scar's like, oh, we're getting them all. And like, how? Because he has friends in high places. I'm like, okay, first of all, this is kind of dark. This means that Zazu helps the lions figure out who to eat. Oh. Why, Zazu? Why? I guess, what is it? Better to be the devil's right hand than in his path? I guess, sure. Circle life and whatnot. But, yeah, that's how the comic ends. So, you know what? Scar saved the day. He saved the Disney villain line. I think it's because Maleficent has nothing to do. She really doesn't. Like, what is her goal? What does she want? Her entire story is, I want that baby dead. Alright? That baby right there. Just that one. Why? Because her dad didn't invite me to a party. It's interesting. It's messed up. But there's not much story there. Alright? That's why the Maleficent movie is kind of ass. Scar is legit playing the Game of Thrones here. Alright? So, it's hard not to enjoy this story more. We just saw how Shenzi and the hyenas came into play. It's weird that 2 vultures gave him this idea, but you know what? Weird ideas have come from weirder places. How Doc Brown came up with the idea for time travel? He was hanging a clock in the bathroom and fell his head on the toilet. And boom, there you go. So, weird. But overall, real fun. Good time to be had. But that is not where the MVP of the story came by. Because I'm sorry. Everything Gargoyles wins. I'm sorry. It just does. And this one brought in Demona. Alright. So I'll say it. Before there was Cersei Lannister, before there was Azula, there was Demona. And the fact that you can never find anyone who's more responsible for their own troubles than Demona. That's kind of it. You love to watch her. You love to watch her mess up people's lives because at the end of the day, her life is still messed up. Alright? So anyway, this story starts off with Demona. Like, she's heard all the stuff going on here, and she's like, you know what? I gotta turn back from Dominic Destine because I believe the episode was called The Mirror. And Puck made it so she turns into a human during the day and back into a gargoyle at night. It's a very painful process. Looks like she's gotten used to it. I don't think she'll ever will get used to it. Because, you know, she has to, like, her bones will change. Wings have to, like, sprout out of her back. No. So anyway, she comes in using the last page of the Demona Enters and some mosquitoes that sucked up blood of the Manhattan Clan. She's able to figure out what they're all doing. And that's cool. Messed up. Also ties into, what was it? Genesis? Was it Genesis? One of the later stories where Demona used gargoyle blood to create her own clan, and it was really sad. It was really sad. Even more so she got replaced. But anyway. So she looks in on Broadway and Lexington and their issue with the potential shift in power that's created by Glasses and his group attacking another mafia group. So weird. They fixed it. They weren't happy about it. She looks in on Goliath, and she points out Goliath's probably the most interesting one there, just because of his story. And the lawyer says, like, you know, Toby Crest points out exactly what's going on here. So the first bit is going to be the trial to determine whether or not he is entitled to rights under the law. So Toby points out, yeah, you can speak, you're articulate, that's great and all, but let me tell you right now, humanity doesn't even like people of a different race. Humanity doesn't like people of a different, who look different from them, let alone a different species, so it's going to be hard. What he suggests is character witnesses, like people who prove that, hey, this is Goliath, he's alright, he's a great upstanding member of society. Then we cut back to what Lexington and Broadway are doing. What Lexington and Broadway are doing is interesting, but it's pretty quick to fix. They didn't come back to Goliath suggesting for character witnesses Halcyon Renard. Alright, okay. Matt Bluestone, the problem is, Bluestone or Elisa, it would really just bring them a lot more trouble, especially Matt, who's part of the Gargoyle Task Force. That's not going to work out. Which also exclude Elisa's family, so we can't do that. Lennox McDuff, or Macbeth, alright, would be a good character witness. There are people from Goliath's World Tour who, if they knew this, and they probably see it on the news, they would be willing to help. Xanatos is just no. So you gotta think of something. Meanwhile, by the time Lex and Broadway get back, Brooklyn's upset because, hey, he told them, hey, Castle's on lockdown, no one enters or leaves, and they did anyway, so, yeah. So Demona sees all of this. Brooklyn, bless your heart, heavy's the hand that wears the crown. She's like, this gives me an idea. And when Demona has an idea, someone's life is going to be messed up, because now she's thinking of all the stuff going on here. She sees pretty much that the clan doesn't need Goliath as much, which is, she's proud in her own way, but she always views them as her future clan. She's always seen herself as the one who should lead the Gargoyles. Which is why I've never trusted her. Like, the more you think of people say, well, she's so articulate, she's so smart, well, but hold on. She's only smart and articulate if you agree with her, alright? She's always seen herself as a person who has to lead the clan, because she thinks she knows best. And honestly, she doesn't. Alright? She really doesn't. She was the one that decided to trust, why can I not remember his name? The captain. And the captain, as well-meaning as possible, could not foresee the Vikings betraying him and destroying the Gargoyles while they slept. So her plan would have just gotten them all killed. It would have just been her, Demona, her, Goliath, and Hudson. That's it. Those three. Then they'd have gone somewhere else, scrapping for scraps. So what? Nothing, but whatever. So she realizes that there's a power vacuum. Why? Because during the whole Avalon story, which is one of my favorite stories of Gargoyles, because it's wizards, the Demona Enters, the Eye of Odin, and the Phoenix Gate, three of the most powerful items in this world, are off the table. Alright? So, the Archmage devoured the Demona Enters, and he had the Eye of Odin and the Phoenix Gate. The whole point was that the Eye of Odin and the Phoenix Gate were to regulate the Demona Enters, but when Goliath took them off of him, it killed him. And Goliath returned the Eye of Odin to Odin, and the Phoenix Gate released the Phoenix, and yeah, that's the whole thing. But she points out That's a power vacuum in the magical world. So there's going to be 3 more new artifacts, and she's got to be on top of them. And that's how the comic ends. I love how in character this is for Demona. Everyone's going through their own personal drama, and this ends with Demona going, there's a way for me to profit off this. Not even off the exact thing. She's like, this is all interesting and all. But you know there's some magic out there I could be taking. And the last time we saw Demona use magic, she was trying to wipe out everything but gargoyles. It was messed up. It was classic Demona. Greg Wiseman, you mad lad, keep this going. I love the idea with the trial. It's sad that maybe it's just me. The Broadway and Lexington thing didn't appeal to me. Just didn't feel like it was going anywhere interesting. But we'll see how that plays off, because that is sort of connected. We have 3, now going on 4 stories here. 5 if we count what happened way back when with Derek and Maggie's child. So yeah, there's that too. I think it would be beneficial if the people from Goliath's World Tour showed up to be his character witness. I think that would have been great too. But who knows? Who knows? I think by default Goliath will be determined that he is entitled to rights under the law. Because to stop it there sort of ruins the whole flow of the story. I'm like, okay, so if he doesn't get rights, then what? If he doesn't have rights, then he can't be put in jail. I mean, if the idea is that he's not human, humans are put in jail, which is actually bad, because if he doesn't go to jail, that means he will be treated as a wild animal, and a wild animal that does something crazy gets put down. So, yeah, and that would set a horrible precedence. Brooklyn, by default, would feel he has to team up with Demona. To some extent, he'd think Demona was right. This would be the whole Cyclops, Magneto was right bit. I'm like, okay, we don't have to go that far. Anyway, that is it. Greg Wiseman, you beautiful, beautiful man. Chill out on Twitter a bit. He's not that terrible on Twitter. Right? He's not. He's actually a really nice guy on Twitter, from what I've seen. I didn't have a question I wanted to ask him when he, but whatever. So anyway, with that in mind, if you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.
Just hand a little something to all you gargoyles and gargettes out there running amok tonight. And it goes something like this. Here, gargoyles. Here, gargoyles. Oh, gargoyles. Oh, yeah, gargoyles. Do you hear me calling ya? Come on home to me. 'Cause I need you, my macabre gargoyle. Come to me, gargoyle.